But let's move on to the next section of the stream, which is talking about underrated albums from amazing bands. What do you guys think is an underrated album from an amazing band? Like, think of like a big band, but there's like that one album that doesn't get enough credit, right? Or maybe it got overlooked in their catalog. Deftones, Ohms. Bro, that is a good answer. So I haven't gone through Deftones' discography, really. Maybe good Patreon content. Sign up to patreon.com/metalbirb for tons of album reactions. The Cold Sun by Loathe. But speaking of patreon.com/metalbirb, it's coming out Sunday. This Place Will Become Your Tomb, Sleep Token. That's a good one. That's definitely a good one. I think a lot of people do like it. It's my personal least favorite. But as Sleep Token continues to grow and getting signed to RCA Records, I do think The Place Will Become Your Tomb is going to be massively overlooked. But I actually got this idea from all places, and that is r/metalcore. So r/metalcore, I do have like a little bit of a love-hate relationship with this community over here, because before I started my channel, actually, I used to go on r/metalcore all the time because it's great for discovering new music and finding some cool underground gems or what's like popping off in the scene. I love it. The one thing I didn't really like about r/metalcore is that if you have a hot take or if you disagree with the majority of the comments, you get downvoted to oblivion. So it doesn't really make for good discourse, and it's not really a r/metalcore thing. It's just a Reddit thing. So it doesn't really make for good discussion. And because of it, I think that's actually a big partial reason why I started my YouTube channel, because I was a big follower of this Reddit. And then I'm like, I have too many opinions, and I also disagree with a lot of the opinions here, that I'm like, I have to make my own like YouTube channel to voice out my thoughts. That being said, I did think that this was a cool topic. So this dude made a comment saying, unpopular opinion, There Is a Hell is Bring the Horizon's best album, not Sempiternal. And I've seen this comment a few times. I think that's a really good opinion to have, because when you think of Bring the Horizon, you really don't think about that album. You think of, you know, if you're going back to their old stuff, Suicide Season, and even their like deathcore stuff, right? So I'm going to actually make that my #1 album on the list. But There Is a Hell, believe me, I've seen it. There Is a Heaven, I can see it. I forget how friggin' long the title is. It's a really good record. Ooh, that is a hot take. Ammo is the best thing that they've done so far. I kind of do agree. I do kind of agree with that. I think that album's fucking awesome. I love it. It's the least metal thing that they've done, but I think it's one of their best albums. Nihilist Blues is Bring the Horizon's best song. Come at me. Come at me. And for people that haven't even realized, they actually did like a soft remix to this album too, which is actually a really nice, pleasant listen.
I am the ocean, I am inside of me.
But everyone knows that Sempiternal is probably their goated album. This is the album that changed Bring the Horizon, the band. But yeah, everyone knows this record. Hold on, let me get that fuck. That fuck is goated as well. Like, the why I'm bringing this up is because I would argue that I think Sempiternal is still a better record than There Is a Hell. Sempiternal, yeah, Sempiternal. I'm a simp for this record. But next up, we are actually going to move on to another British band, British Land. Another band that is amazing and that are huge as well. I feel like their older albums get massively overlooked. And I've been listening to this band for a long time, and I still think the old stuff, personally for me, is goated, and it's hella underrated. Goes to Architects with Hollow Crown. So cool, because there wasn't too many bands that were like drop tuning their guitars, their 6 strings, like Architects was back in the day. I really think they actually borrowed their tuning style from Sixth. These guys were like influenced by some crazy mathcore bands back in the day. They were so young. There's only like a couple songs that are a little bit more genty, so I wouldn't really say this is a gent album. This is C sharp standard tuning. It's the same tuning as like a band like Between the Bear to me, actually. Like this is more similar to something like Comeback Kid. And then they had this awesome riff section. So I still think this is probably one of the most underrated records from Architects. But if you want to go further and say the true underrated record from this band, the Here and Now. You know, my answer is Hollow Crown because I fucking love that record. But I think the proper answer to have is the Here and Now. This album came out after Hollow Crown because Hollow Crown was like a mathcore, it was intense, right? Architects was like almost Dillinger Escape Plan with like Comeback Kid and stuff. But then they made a post-hardcore record that sounded more like Alexis on Fire. Me included and other fans were like, what the hell? This is Architects? So after this record, they switched gears, went back to being heavy with Daybreaker. But this record is very overlooked.
Yes, I put it to that. Nobody watching over me.
And then Sam was actually really experimenting with his cleans a lot. Like even songs like this, Red Eyes, which how many views? 61,000 views on this song. Like no one knows this song. Yeah, it's funny that you actually say Thrice. These guys are heavily influenced by Thrice. I know I talk about Thrice all the time. I think their influence is not really understood in the scene. Like Sam was also featured on the Thrice record, right? Under a Killing Moon, the new one. So yeah, these guys are heavily influenced by Thrice, and yeah, you can hear it in some of their songs. You can even hear it in some of their new stuff sometimes. Next up on the list is a band that's actually pretty influenced by Architects. I'm doing all these cool segues, right? British band to British band, but this band is heavily influenced by Architects, so much so that they actually stole their name. Well, I would say borrowed. Stole's not, it sounds a little too harsh, but they borrowed their band name from a song title from Architects, but it goes to North Lane and the album Node. I think this album got a little bit overlooked. I think because of the new vocalist, when Marcus joined the band, I think a lot of people were starting to write off North Lane a little bit. They started to change their sound a little bit, but people are saying, anyone else slept hard on this album only to realize its fucking quality? Yeah, I believed it was bad, and after I listened to it, I realized it was a masterpiece. So I think it happens a lot of times where we listen to records where bands change their sounds and we're all like, oh, we're not used to it. Oh, what the hell? And then give it like 8 years and then you go back to it and you're like, why was I being a hater? That's actually a good record. It was just a different sound. And I think that's going to be the case with Obsidian. I know Obsidian's very polarizing, but I know that was a really cool sounding record. Give it some time, like maybe again 8 years from now, and people will be like, oh, this actually sounds really cool. Yeah, Mesmer. Yeah, you could argue Mesmer. Actually, no. I'm gonna play this song. Fucking Rot, I think, is one of the best North Lane songs. I remember when they dropped this song, I'm like, this is North Lane? Oh hell yeah! And this music video is cool too. And then Phase 1 did a really cool remix to Rot, and now Phase 1's very prominent in the metalcore scene. Alien and Obsidian are the only two North Lane albums I can listen all the way through all the time. You know what, Fran? I actually kind of agree with you. I think Alien and Obsidian are the most cohesive records that the band's put out. I think the older records, even their old stuff with Adrian, was really, really good. And obviously some of those songs are goated. I listen to some songs and I listen to other songs, but I don't really listen to the album start to finish. So this, I still think, is an underrated album in terms of North Lane. But I still think the best albums are Alien and Obsidian because they just feel like full packages. Full big packages. Okay, next up on the list is, let me see here. All right, guys, what's missing on this list? Let's get some chat participation. Under Oath, Lost in the Sound of Separation. Wow, everyone's saying Lost in the Sound. Damn. That's interesting that you guys say Lost in the Sound of Separation, because I would argue Disambiguation is the underrated album from Under Oath. This is all subjective, but when it comes to Under Oath, I think they still have Desperate Times, means Desperate Measures off Lost in the Sound. I think they just still play like a decent amount of those songs live, where I feel like this record, Disambiguation, is so overlooked. Anyway, Aaron Gillespie is the drummer and vocalist. He left the band. They had issues with the band. So then Spencer Chamberlain, who's the screamer, became the vocalist and the singer. So this is their first, and I'm pretty sure not only album. The Under Oath timeline's all fucking weird. But of their more recent albums from like the past 15 years, I would say this is their only album without Aaron Gillespie doing vocals. And I think that's why it's very overlooked. I think this album, Disambiguation, is very artistic. It's very fucking heavy and dark. And I think that's another reason why people don't talk about this album too much. It's intense when it comes to Under Oath's music. And I'm pretty sure, yeah, they had the Norman Jean drummer on this record too, because since Aaron Gillespie's on the band. For example, let me compare it. This is what Under Oath first sounded like when they broke through the scene.
Your heartbeat racing. Can you taste the fear in your sweat?
See, they were like super emo, like even like this song, which is also goated, Right on the Walls. So emo. Right, going back to Disambiguation, after those records, they got way heavier and darker. Oh yeah, actually another example, but Paper Lung, this song's awesome too. The next one is a band that everyone knows here, and they're a new band, that's why, but I feel like nobody talks about these EPs anymore. So, goes to Spiritbox, but I think the singles EP and the self-titled EP is probably still my favorite stuff that the band has done. Even though I understand their success and I'm really happy for the band, and I don't expect them to go back to this style because this style is not really commercially viable, but this shit hits different. Here, let's open up another example. Yeah, this song is crazy. Like, there's no way that they could get some commercial success with something like this. This is just a little too out there, but man, do I fucking love it. But even songs like this, Bleach Bath, honestly, besides Holy Roller, which might be a little bit of a lukewarm take, I think Bleach Bath is probably my favorite Spiritbox song. I also love this music video too. It's spooky. This is the song that made me fall in love with this band. Dude, this came out in 2019. How did this band blow up like they did? It's honestly crazy how quickly metal is kind of breaking through lately with like Sleep Token and Spiritbox, right? This is 2019. It's not even that long ago. Other bands have been in the scene for like, I don't know, 15, 20 years and are still having a hard time breaking through. Give it to us. We want the unpopular opinions. That's what we like doing here. That's why on my Discord server, we have the Hot Takes channel. I don't like them live. Interesting. Well, when I saw them live, it was last year. And I took a video and some dude took my video and is like using it for his own channel. There's no copyright, so I guess he's allowed to do it. Yeah, he's got 304,000 views. So I recorded this. It's super quiet and it also looks like crap. You can tell he took it from the internet because it sounds like shit and the quality is dipped. But notice the camera work, the zoom ins. I'm always doing the zoom ins and I'm always following the vocalist when I'm taking Instagram stories and stuff for live shows. Yep. But I posted this video on Twitter and it kind of blew up, and then I think they shared it on Reddit. So this video went a little bit viral. But yeah, anyway, the point that I'm trying to make is this. Oh, bad time to freeze frame it. or maybe it's a good time for the thirsty dudes. But I will say that got distracted there. I will say that this, what was I saying? When I saw them live, okay, when I saw them live, I thought they sounded amazing. Mind you, this is a good venue in Toronto. They were playing at History. It's a big venue in the city, and the sound quality was amazing. But I'm well aware that Spiritbox had such a tight performance, like in terms of like choreography, where I don't see a lot of bands doing it. You can tell like where Courtney's moving around and the band members switching places and stuff. You can tell that it was a little bit choreographed, right? In terms of songs, they're professional musicians. So that's one thing I noticed. I met them backstage, guest list, and they were so nice and down to earth. Oh, I bet like Spiritbox and I have like a bit of a relationship. They've gone massive, but you know, they really appreciate the videos I did for them back in the day. I would love to talk to them one day. I just haven't had the chance to yet. But yeah, anyway, so guys, those are like the underrated albums from amazing bands. There could be a part 2. But yeah, those are just some records that are definitely worth your time, especially if you're a fan of these bands. But I'm curious to know what your underrated album is, so comment down below. Spice up my life, Caleb. Thank you for the donation, dude. Guys, what is the album that you think is underrated? I'd love to know in the comments down below. Also, if you've gone to this point of the video and haven't clicked off yet, then I appreciate shit, man. Feel free to hit the subscribe button. Feel free to leave a like, enjoy the video. But on that, thank you for tuning in. Until next time, peace.